Woo! We're starting this video right now. The NFL draft was today. NFL draft top 10. Number 1, you have Trayvon Walker. Honestly, I wasn't that surprised. I actually predicted on my TikTok channel, if you watch that. He was the number 1 pick for the Jaguars. Honestly, great, solid pick. Edge, Georgia. A lot of people have been saying that he didn't have enough work in general. His stats were only good for this year. Honestly, I think they're really hoping his ceiling's very high, which I think it probably will be. I think he's a great pick. Definitely shined at Georgia. Number 2, Aiden Hutchinson. Great pick for the Lions overall. Definitely is going to help them on defensive side of the ball. And another great pick. But what do you think? Do you think Hutchinson should have gone number 1? I feel a lot of people were saying that Hutchinson should be number 1 or someone else. But what do you think? Or Evan Neal. Or Ikem Ekwonu. There's honestly a lot of non-quarterbacks in the top 10. Honestly, I like to see that. Just because all the time quarterbacks are kind of prioritized sometimes. But in this draft class, really, the other positions shine. So number 3, Derek Stanley Jr., cornerback LSU. He went to the Texans. That's honestly a great pick. Very underrated and honestly a very good cornerback. Honestly, probably the one of the best in this draft. Number 4, you have the Jets, Ahmad Gardner. Honestly, this was a great pick for them. Cornerback as well. Honestly, from Cincinnati. A lot of his plays when he played, he really just could break up the ball from anyone else. And he's going to be very good in this league. I expect him to be a top 10 corner in a few years, maybe less than that. I'd say maybe 1 to 2 years, I think he's a big top 10 corner. Number 5, Kayvon Thibodeau. The Giants got him. Honestly, a great pick right there. Definitely probably one of the best edge. In my opinion, he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. Definitely a good pick for the Giants right there. The next pick, number 6, Ikem Ekwonu. Offensive line, NC State, Panthers. Honestly, a great pick right there. He's probably one of the best offensive linemen in this draft. Really just demolishing people at the line. Number 7, New York Giants. You have Evan Neal, Alabama. A lot of people are saying that the Giants won this draft. I definitely do agree. You get Kayvon Thibodeau, probably one of the best edge rushers in this whole draft. And you get Evan Neal, who's literally pancaking people at the line and stuff like that. And then number 8, you had Drake London. He was the first wide receiver taken, USC. Definitely for the Falcons. Honestly, a great pick. Number 9, you have Charles Cross, offensive line, Mississippi State. Honestly, a pretty good pick for the Seahawks. I feel like they should have maybe went for someone else, maybe a defensive player, but who knows. Hopefully they get Malik Willis. They have a pick, the 9th pick in the 2nd round, somewhere around there. So hopefully they get Malik Willis. Number 10, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. Jets. Honestly, that's a pretty great pick in my opinion. Definitely going to help them out. And people were saying that, oh, Wilson and Wilson connection, stuff like that. Honestly, I think he's going to be a great player for them, but what do you think? Honestly, there was some big NFL news. I have to talk about a bet Drake made. Drake just bet on Drake London. So, the bet was Drake after placing bet on USC's Drake London. Drake betting on Drake just feels right. That's what he had to say. And he made a bet that he'd be the first wide receiver drafted. 3.35. Total odds, 3.35. And then he bet 100,000. And he got 335,000 from this bet. Honestly, amazing bet from Drake. And he turned out to be alright. I wonder if someone from USC slid him some information or someone got him some information. That was honestly a great bet. And there was surprising news today actually. Marquise Brown was traded to the Cardinals. Honestly, it makes them probably one of the best receiving corps. They have DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Marquise Brown, and Rondale Moore. Honestly, adding a lot of people. And they only gave up a 100th pick, and a 23rd pick. Honestly, great options to give up. I would give them around an A for that. I would give the Ravens probably a C for that. I feel like they probably might want to got rid of him, but I don't know. Lamar Jackson did have a good reaction to this. He said, WTF, because he was actually mad about this, which makes sense. That was his favorite target besides Mark Andrews, so it definitely does make sense. He said, I wish I could have played with my brother forever, but I'm going to see you at the top. Lamar Jackson, that was Hollywood Brown, Lamar Jackson. And some of the Lamar Jackson fans were saying, what the F, bro. Honestly, trading away Hollywood was a pretty bad move. They needed to actually add wide receivers in general. Hopefully they can sign Jarvis Landry, pick up a receiver in the 2nd round. Hopefully there's someone good, but honestly, I'm concerned for them. And it seems like all over the draft, a lot of people are actually unhappy with some of the picks, saying that they should have took someone else. Oh, you should have took this guy and all this sort of stuff, when they're really not even an analyst or really scouting like that. And also another one I see is, oh, his career is ruined because he gets drafted to the Jets. the Jets are not a good team, so they're going to get the best players. His career is not going to be ruined because he goes to the Jets. It's just a stupid thing to say. The draft is for a reason. It's not to ruin their careers. It's to really help the team out. But what do you think? And then in other news, A.J. Brown traded the Eagles. Honestly insane. So the Philadelphia Eagles are acquiring A.J. Brown from the Titans in exchange for a number 18, 101 overall pick. Honestly, in my opinion, I would give the Titans around a C. I would give the Eagles around an A. Now they have him and Devontae Smith. Definitely be a lethal wide receiving core. And honestly, A.J. Brown, I think this is a good combo. Jalen Hurts is really going to get helped out with A.J. Brown being the wide receiver. Definitely a good option right there. And honestly, they just look like a better team in general. The Eagles are really just keep improving. But what do you think? And do you think this was a good move? I honestly do think it was a good move. The Titans, I feel like a lot of the stuff going on with the Titans, I don't really know. What do you think? Do you think that they'll be the same with A.J. Brown? I honestly don't know. Ryan Tannehill's probably going to struggle next season, but they have a dominant running game with Derrick Henry, so does it really matter that much? And then Kenny Pickett was actually the first quarterback off the board. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Malik Willis. I thought the Steelers were going to draft him. Honestly, I think that would have been a great pick. And Kenny Pickett, Pitt to Pitt. So Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh, the NFL team. Honestly, insane. And a lot of big moves coming out. Chris Paul honestly did something amazing today in the Suns versus the Pelicans game. 14 of 14 from field goal. Honestly, a great overall game in general. And just a lot of big moves happening. What's your opinion on everything? And honestly, here's another wide receiving core for the Jets. So the QB is Zach Wilson. Running back Michael Carter. Honestly, I don't really know too much about Michael Carter. But what do you think? Now, wide receiver, you have Elijah Moore. Honestly, a pretty okay pick. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. Definitely a good draft pick right there. And honestly, just some great things. And honestly, some cool things happening. The NFL is just becoming really interesting right now. Garrett Wilson getting drafted to the Jets was honestly a pretty great pick, in my opinion. He's definitely one of the best receivers in this class. Also, I forgot to mention this. Chris Olave was drafted for the Saints. Definitely a good pick. Michael Thomas should be healthy this season, so it should be okay to draft him. And honestly, I like that pick. NBA top 75. This is honestly a very weird list. This is 2021-2022 season. Number 7, you have Clint Capella. Honestly, actually, I started out all wrong. 75 is Bobby Portis. Honestly, I would say somewhere around there. 74, Jordan Clarkson. Definitely underrated. Number 73, Cole Anthony. I'll put him somewhere around there. 72, Robert Williams III. I'll put him a bit higher, maybe around 60. 71, Seth Curry. Honestly, great three-point shooter. I would probably put him at 68. Porzingis, 61. Honestly, he should be at 70. He's probably one of the worst players in the NBA. 62, Cade Cunningham. Definitely a promising rookie career. Could have won a Rookie of the Year, so I put him right around there. 63, Kyle Kuzma. He's somewhere around there. I keep him there. 64, D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, that seems reasonable. 65, Russell Westbrook. Honestly, he deserves to be there. Some people in the comments were arguing, where should Russ go? Honestly, I think he's fine where he's at. 66, John Collins. Honestly, a very underrated player for the Atlanta Hawks. 67, Terry Rozier. Honestly, that's a good position. 68, Kevin Love rating. I agree with it. 69, OG Anunoby, and 70, Clint Capella. Honestly, I agree with all of them, and definitely a good list. This bucket counts is pretty underrated. I'm going to have to go back to do the best 75 again. And honestly, the Lakers, this is some Sports Illustrated news. The Lakers front office blames LeBron James and Anthony Davis for acquiring Russell Westbrook. They're really going to put the blame on LeBron. I think it's on Pelinka. He really signed off on it. Like, let's be real. He made the final decision. And they really didn't want to pick up DeMar DeRozan's option. And Pelinka was the one who really blew that one off. Like people were saying, oh, they should sign him. But what do you think? And then Kyrie Irving tweets numerous criticisms of media industry. I send shots at the puppet masters, not the puppets. All puppets do is run around society, try to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these media corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. his brothers and sisters. He's obviously not being literal like his brothers and sisters. Stem out everyone in the NBA or anyone in the sporting world in general, who are profiting off his name or anyone's name. I don't know about billions, Kyrie. Like, your name would be worth billions to them. I think reporting on sports in general, they did have a lot of buzz about your vaccination, so I could definitely see a potential millions off of that. People really caring about opinions or just talking on them in general. But honestly, what do you think about that? Honestly, another weapon added to the Carolina Cardinals offense. DeAndre Hopkins, already a 3-time Pro Bowl, all pro. Honestly, that's good. Kyler Murray at QB, definitely good right there. James Conner, running back, 2-time Pro Bowler. Great running back for the Steelers. Zach Ertz, 3-time Pro Bowler. Definitely a good player for the Eagles. Marquise Brown, 1,880 actually, receiving yards in 2021. Rondale Moore, 435 receiving yards. And AJ Green, 7-time Pro Bowler. Honestly, if Kyler Murray can't win with this lineup, at least make it pretty far in the playoffs, I think it's time to move on from him because it's looking disappointing. But I think they should honestly fire Cliff Kingsbury. He's honestly an overrated head coach. Really hasn't done anything at the helm of leading the team. But honestly, what do you think? And this is probably my last part of the video. I'll probably end it up on a high note. Probably talk about some picks in the later rounds. Or actually, tomorrow, hopefully the Seahawks draft a quarterback, so I think I'll maybe talk about that. But I'm looking at the overall first-round picks, and it looks like some pretty good picks. Jameson Williams to the Lions. I think I actually forgot to mention this. Definitely a good pick right there. Definitely will help them out, in my opinion, and really just add some depth at the receiver position. They've been really lacking. His ACL injury, I don't think you should be concerned about. And if that would have happened, he probably would have been a top 10 pick. Probably would have been the first wide receiver taken. He's really that good. Definitely a good pick for them. I think they might take a quarterback tomorrow. I don't know, maybe Desmond Ridder or someone like that. But I don't think they think that Jared Goff's their guy. But what do you think? And then the Chiefs take Trent McDuffie. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good pick right there. I feel like that's honestly a great pick. Pick 21. I feel like they need a cornerback. Supposedly Tyrann Mathieu leaving, and the Saints are actually going to sign Jarvis Landry, so that would be interesting. And the Bengals actually signed safety from Michigan, Daxton Hill. Honestly, that's a pretty good pick right there. They already added an offense lineman. I feel like that's probably going to be their next pick. They already added some players in the offseason, but what do you think? Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas, pick 19. He's honestly been compared to Deebo Samuel and A.J. Brown, so that's pretty promising, but they traded away A.J. Brown. Honestly, a bad move in my opinion. Tyler Smith, offensive tackle, Tulsa for the Cowboys. Honestly, they need an offensive tackle. I feel like some of them have been injured lately, so that's a good pick right there. Tyler Lindenbaum, he's the center for Iowa. The Ravens, honestly, getting me a pretty good pick there. Definitely can help out. Kyle Hamilton, that was honestly a steal for the Ravens in general. A lot of people had him up, and up in the top 10 earlier, but that's honestly a steal for the Ravens. Definitely going to improve on the defense side of the ball, adding him, especially their corner game and just their safeties are going to be elite next year. Kyle Hamilton, adding him is definitely going to change a lot. But what do you think? The Washington Commanders getting Jahan Dotson, honestly a pretty good pick right there. Pick 16, honestly pretty earlier than I expected. I expected him to get maybe drafted a bit later, but what do you think? Comment down below. And then pick 17, you have the Chargers getting Zion Johnson, offensive guard. Honestly, they've been adding a lot of offensive players around Justin Herbert. I feel like they already have Joey Bosa, so they don't really have to add anyone there. Or actually Nick Bosa, but they don't have to add anyone there. Defense side of the ball is actually pretty elite. They have elite cornerbacks and safeties in general. And their wide receiver position, pretty solid. Maybe the running game, I feel like that's what they really need to focus on. But they got Rashawn Slater, honestly a dominant player. But this is probably the end of my video. Goodbye. See you later and woo!